Uh, Before anything else, you will see in your applications, whenever you get onto your applications for the USA, one of the questions either at the interviews or in the essays that are put forward obliquely will refer to why USA as a study destination, and not, for example, let us say, why do you not prefer England, or why do you not prefer Australia or your own home country over the US. So there are 4 or 5 main reasons why we prefer US. According to the Universitas 21 survey of higher education systems worldwide, USA sits in the top 5 of those countries. The first few are, of course, in the Scandinavian countries. Amongst the larger democratic countries, you have USA with the highest rank. In fact, the Times Higher Education World Rankings, the top 3 universities, Harvard, MIT, and Stanford, are from the USA. And 8 of the top 10 ranks of the Times Higher Education World Reputation Rankings are also from USA. So that makes why applying to the USA as a compelling for the students, is because you have a large number of high quality educational institutions there, which you can close your eyes and apply to without bothering too much about the quality. Then, of course, every Fortune 500 company, almost every Fortune 500 company is having an office in the USA, out of which 128 are absolutely based out of the USA, which means their head offices are in the USA. Compare that to the next country with the highest number of Fortune 500 companies, which is UK, and a good 100 numbers less than what the USA has. So obviously, when it comes to job opportunities, then nobody can beat USA as a destination of choice. Come now to job opportunities after completing your graduation. So we have the curricular practical training that you can do, the CPT, which is not there in the slide, but it's a CPT you can do while studying your courses. Then, of course, after you've finished your graduation, then the post-study work opportunity, you have a 12 months optional practical training that you can opt for. And then for students who are getting into science, technology, engineering, and mathematics related programs, the STEM programs as the US calls it, then you can stay back for a total of 29 months after graduation. So which means about 2.5 years kind of you can stay back in the USA and work, which if you compare it with England or UK, then they do not have at this moment any post-study work opportunities. Those are highly, the terms and conditions are such that most students are not able to avail of the post-study work opportunities in the UK. Next, and for students who are absolutely applying for your engineering and sciences program, the next reason why you should look at the USA is pretty compelling. So the US Department of State has come to the conclusion that US needs a large number of science and engineering graduates to fill up the requirements of the technological development that is going on in the US at the moment. Not only that, they need a huge number of teachers to teach in their high schools and universities. And so therefore, they have launched this STEM US government initiative, where around 700 million was already invested in public-private partnerships. Now Trump has said that I will add another $1 billion to it. So you have an almost $2 billion US government initiative that is there under the STEM initiatives of US government. Then, of course, anybody who wants to live the great American dream, anybody who wishes to live the great American dream, which is, you know, and I advise you to read the book by James Truslow Adams. It talks about the fact that life should be better and richer and fuller for everyone, with opportunities for each according to ability or achievement. So that's the other great reason why you should be applying to the US. Now, before you start applying to the US, not later. Before you start applying to the USA, first I wanted to talk about the unique features of the US higher education system, which is not there, for example, in the Indian system or in the British system, which India follows. Firstly, it is the breadth of study available. I mean, you can mix and match courses, you can mix and match majors, you can opt for double majors, you can opt for a major and a minor combination. And it is possible mainly because of the credit system that the US follows. So what is a credit? So when you talk of a 1 credit program or a 2 credit program or a 10 credit program, what is that meaning? So it means basically, and see how I will build on this credit system to explain to you the requirements of graduating from the US. So when it talks of 1 credit load, for example, it means that you will have 1 hour of direct faculty interaction in the week, not in the month, in the week. Then you have a minimum of 2 hours of coursework that you will do on your own, and an equivalent amount of laboratory work and internships and practice, etc. So if you have about 5 hours of work, remember only 1 is in a classroom, the rest of the 4 hours, which means 4/5, that is 80% of your work, is what you do on your own. And so therefore, an ability to study on your own, the ability to learn on your own and not be spoon-fed is one of the requirements of the US higher education system. Students, obviously, normally you will have to complete 30 credits. The highly competitive universities, for example, Stanford has 45 credits that you have to complete in a year's time. Remember, in 3 semesters, in 9 months, you have to finish your 45 or your 30 credits. All right. At many US colleges, you do not have to declare your specialization or major. So after this we'll ask, so that we know that they have understood. So you do not have to declare your major, or even if you do declare, you are within your rights to change onto another subject. A lot of students in India seem to feel that, applying for computer sciences. Okay, can we mail the presentation? Yeah.
Hello guys, I'm Pooja, the co-host for this webinar. We'll be putting this on our website as well as on our YouTube channel, so don't worry about it. If you cannot join the presentation, I would request you to close your browser and join from the Chrome browser or Firefox. Try to join from there. And if you still are not getting this, then we'll be mailing this presentation as well as the YouTube video of this will be there shortly.
So at many US colleges, even if you declare your majors, you are well within your rights to, go back on your choice that you had made at the time of application. For example, MIT allows you to declare your major in a year's time, in 2 semesters' time. A large number of other universities will allow you to, declare your major after having completed the first 2 years of your graduation. Now, a liberal arts education with a great focus on broad education and general knowledge is one of the unique features of the US system. Not all colleges are liberal arts. First, you have to understand what is liberal arts. The goal of a liberal arts education is to prepare students for a life of learning. So, apart from their specialization subjects, students are encouraged to take courses outside of their major. So, for example, you can mix, let us say, you want to specialize in computer sciences or mathematics, mix that with with a course in music, or maybe even you take up, mythology or folklore, or, for example, some universities like Stanford, which is based on the liberal arts model of learning, you have to take a foreign language in the first year and in the second year of your studies. The other aspect of US uh, applications is studying in the USA is that, unlike in India where you sit for an end semester exam or you sit for a final examination at the end of the year, here assessment is not only through a test which will mainly be an open book test, because they do not expect you to be mugging up on stuff, but a continuous evaluation is done on the basis of the project work that you have completed, on the basis of your participation, and on the basis of the research work that you are completing in the universities. So, just to keep track of whether you've been listening to what I've been saying before, just there's a small little poll. Do you need to declare your majors when applying? Yes, and so we have a few people saying yes, we have a few others saying no. Great. So we go ahead. Okay. Now, the original US academic pattern. So, what is it that you wish that you would have to study if you study in the USA at a large number of your universities? Is the core curriculum courses or the distribution requirements. These are all what was part of the liberal arts model, where you have to study a large number of courses which are outside of your majors. So, for example, if you're studying the sciences, then of course you have to study English, a foreign language, some part of your natural sciences, philosophy, uh, psychology, sociology, mathematics. So you take a mix of all subjects, and of course, majors is something similar to the honors degree program that you have in India. But unlike in India, where you start studying from day one only in the subject of your specialization, in the USA, it will mainly be in the last 2 years of your 4 years graduation. So that some students, therefore, what they do is when they have declared their majors at the time of applications, after having studied the general education requirements or the core curriculum courses, they feel that they are more suited for other subjects, and then they change their majors. Some students will also go for a double major. So, this year I had a student who went for mathematics and computer sciences, mathematics and physics. A student I had who went for biology and music. So that is also some thing that you can consider. Then, of course, we have electives, which you can take in all 4 years. And if you take a large number of electives in the same subject area, that can turn out to be a minor that you have. So you have a major in a particular subject, and then you have a minor consisting of a large number of electives that you have taken. So 40% of your course could consist of that as well. Now, since we are talking of undergrad students going to the USA and then having to fit in not only into the local culture, but also the culture of the US higher education system. So we wanted to point out a few of the common challenges that the students face in the US. First, as I had mentioned, if you have one class or on a particular subject in USA, you are supposed to complete an equivalent of 4 more classes sitting at home or in the library or wherever it is to do some research work on what has already happened in the class. So classes will be mainly unstructured. So you cannot ask for a set syllabus. You cannot ask for a set syllabus, or you cannot, say that the teacher is not dictating notes or whatever it is that you had in school. Then the 40-minute classes are no longer going to be the norm. Classes will be as long as 2 hours, and frequently it will be several classes put together on the same subject. Then, of course, significantly large volumes of research work that you have to do, which is also part of the assessment that will have to be completed. Here, I must mention that work has to be original. So just like you complete your school work, which is basically cut and paste out of Google and all that, you will be penalized for plagiarization if you do the same thing in the US. So one of the first honor codes that you have to sign at a large number of universities is that I have not plagiarized from anywhere else. And then, of course, there is a large number of academic challenges that you will face, in the sense that the level of knowledge, the level of output required will be far higher than what your CBSE curriculum has to offer. And that is the reason why we often advise the students to be taking advanced placement subjects as part of their high school curriculum. It allows students to be attuned to the US at least the first year and the second year of college requirements while still in school in India. Yes, you have a